are a race with a marvellous degree of imbecility, avarice, conceit, and obstinacy. The interruption of commercial intercourse of my subjects with China, the affront to the dignity of both Crown and Crown agents, will be met by the gallantry of my naval and military forces in achieving reparation and redress. We will have uniform success. I will most gladly mark with approbation the admirable conduct of all those honourable persons who by their strenuous efforts not worsen but bring about brilliant victory over China. It will also be a source of much personal gratification of my unswerving need for intoxication, to be induced by the sweet morpheus charms of the opium. Please, kind sirs, permit me to raise a tincture of laudanum in celebrating these fine and good gentlemen, which I have been, who have risked their life and live to pursue the imperial domination of the Chinese uncivilization. It will also put paid to the Chinese resistance. It is due to their belligerence that blood will be spilled, and their persistence in refusing to kowtow to the imperial might. And as I, Queen Victoria, knows it is right.
In response to Lin Seishu's destruction of the opium stocks, the infuriated narco-capitalists-in-chief, Jardine Matheson, became the devil in the ear of Lord Palmerston.
The barbarian Chinese have no respect for property. Anyhow, opium is a mere incident to this dispute. The cause of the war is the kowtow, the arrogant and insupportable pretensions of China, that she will hold commercial intercourse with the rest of mankind, not upon terms of equal reciprocity, but upon the insulting and degrading forms of the relationship between lord and vassal.
I fear that you are correct. Commodities and trade, by such was empire made, to bring new order to old worlds, with rules to be obeyed, with dividends and bribes and coolies pittance to be paid. There must be no impediment to commodities and trade. For in Bengal, Bengali maidens labour late beneath the moon, a milking of the poppy for to feed the hungry spoon of a skinny Chinese coolie, staggering his load beneath, who stops by at an opium den for a little light relief. But in Canton, an agent of the Chin, a certain Lin Se-shu, has seized our chest of opium and burned the buggers too. Our trade impeded, commodities seized. Something must be done. Our coolies demand that Her Majesty's government do forthwith annex Hong Kong. For your coolie's as cool as any cockney feller. But if he don't get him his pipe, there will be fireworks all over the old Pearl River, and heaven knows what civil strife. The Yellow Empire be washed away on a red tide of revolution. You mark my words, Master Lin, then submit to a very British solution. Supply and demand, the capitalist keys to control the desires of the human. We supply the hard drugs. Your coolies do no more than simply demand and consume them. Everyone's happy, don't you see? You'll no longer have to control them. All chase the dragon in harmony, the perfect way to control them. But Lin Se-shu makes a hullabaloo. He takes our best British O and he burns it. Well, now it's his turn. Is there a lesson to learn? Lindsay Shue is going to be the one who learns it. Oh, we know he don't like how we British simply won't kowtow to Confucius. He say, Chinaman law, the man's beyond the pale, by God. We must not fail. Gentlemen, this is war! Men, load the cannon!
In late 1839, Her Majesty's government dispatched the troops and the navy. After a sea voyage halfway across the world, the fleet of British warships finally arrived in the spring of 1840. Quite a long way to go for a rock. In the defining example of gunboat diplomacy, they sent the warships up the Yangtze, the painful condition, which cut off the Qing Empire's tax income. They bombarded the coastal towns with heavy artillery, resulting in a devastating loss of Chinese life.
When we captured the port of Jinhai, we fired 15 broadsides in a few minutes into the defenceless town. The crashing of timber, falling houses and groans of men resounded from the shore. A more complete pillage could not be conceived. The rape and plunder only ceased when there was nothing more to take or destroy. 2,000 Chinese died that day. Our losses? 3 men in all. The yellow men had no chance against our superior weapon. We had the Wellesley with 74 guns, the Conway and the Alligator with 28 guns, the Cruiser and the Algerine with 36 guns between them, and a dozen more vessels, all armed and highly dangerous. Do you know what that adds up to? Victory for us, defeat for our enemy. But do you know something else? The buggers would not give up. They resorted to dirty tactics, native tricks such as the ambush. However, our men had the fortitude of lions, not to mention the state-of-the-art technology. Mind you, we nearly suffered a crushing defeat at Saint-Juan-Li, and just north of Canton, from the massed peasant militia. It was only the timidity and cowardice of the Emperor's Qing army that saved our bacon. As a result of this and our brave endeavours, British opium ships began to gather once more.
Not all Britons were quite so enthusiastic. About the opium trade or military action to defend it. In Parliament, William Ewart Gladstone and William Cobbett spoke out against it. Mr. Cobstone.
The poor Chinese, they must submit to being poisoned or must be massacred by the thousands for supporting their own laws in their own land. A war more unjust in its origins, a war more calculated in its origins, a war more calculated in its progress to cover this country in disgrace, I do not know and have not read of. The flag is being hoisted to protect a notorious contraband traffic. It is the Chinese, supposedly the pagans and semi-barbarians, who are righteous in this instance, whilst we, the enlightened and civilized Christians, are pursuing objects at variance with both justice and religion. I remain in dread of the judgment of God upon England for our national iniquity towards China. Friends! Is Britain by the nose to be led by so-called free traders in the matter of Her Majesty's government's foreign policy? To breach a trust with a foreign power so easily, I tell you, these so-called yellow men have presided over a noble empire that has invented, innovated and traded for well over 18 centuries. We owe them the invention of the compass, gunpowder, and even the humble cup of tea. Our brothers and sisters imprisoned in the capitalist hellish factories, sweatshops around the UK know what a fallacy it is, this market, this freedomless trade, not just in this disgraceful trade of opium. Friends, a free market? I say there is no such thing. There is a rigged market. These bankers, these financiers, these traders have no right to claim they are engaged in China in such a thing as free trade. We must judge men by the content of their character, not the colour of the skin. And it is not the Chinese, but in this regard, the racketeers of the British East India Company that we find lacking. We must fight this slur to our national character, our very humanity, by any means necessary. To the trade in opium we say no! To war with our brothers and sisters in China we say no! If they call us up to fight, we will not go!
In 1842, the Chinese sued for peace. War ended with the Treaty of Nanking and the loss of Hong Kong. But that wasn't the end of the story. There was a second Opium War in 1856, and a third Opium War ending in 1860, with more rights, more markets, more territory yielded. And then there was the Summer Palace. Imagine Buckingham Palace, the Palace of Westminster or Versailles. The Earl of Elgin ordered it burnt to the ground.
Accordingly, we went out and after pillaging it, burned the whole place, destroying in a vandal-like manner most valuable property, which could not be replaced for 4 millions. You can scarce imagine the beauty and magnificence of the palaces we burnt. It made one's heart sore to burn them. In fact, these palaces were so large and we were so pressed for time that we could not plunder them carefully. Quantities of gold ornaments were burnt, considered as brass. It was wretched, demoralising work. Everybody was wild for plunder.
As a result of the 3 Opium Wars finally ending in 1860, the British forced the Chinese to legalise opium and carried on selling it until 1917. Banks such as Jardine Matheson were built on the back of the opium trade. In a supreme irony, at the same time as the banks were growing rich from the sale of narcotics, the image of the Chinese opium dealer and addict was taking form, inescapable in the books and the music halls, and rendered indelible in the collective imagination. In 1912, Sax Rohmer created his archetypal Yellow Peril menace, Dr. Fu Manchu. The effects are still with us today. Die. faces set to sun, marching across the countryside, nowhere to run. Here's a tall poppy soaring in the sky, and that's why Anna May Wong must die. Silver screen dreams in black and white, but without the black bits, so that's alright. Along came a flapper, a cute little score. The women went ooh when the boys went poor. Black hair, almondizing, clipping to adore. Yellow skin, glistening, sticking in the gore. There's a comet in the heavens, the end is nigh, and that's why Anna May Wong must die. Just one thing or the other, father teaches schools. Anna getting cocky, Anna out of line, Anna taking punishment, Anna doing time. Scary Chinese nurses looking mighty sly. First the dragon lady, they masterminded crime. Anna kissed a white boy and made him cry, and that's why Anna May Wong must die. So, ladies and gentlemen, what have we learned? Give in to bullies or have your home burned. Mammon drives everything. Mammon drives a top gear car. Abandon yourself to mammon or strive from junk to the stars. Otherwise perish under the weight of Dragon's Den, The Apprentice, Mary Lord Save Us Portas, or Evan Davis, chumps like Donald Trump or Simon Cowell. We must never throw in the towel and fight like rats in a sack, hooked on tabloid smack. Deification for them, reification for the many who have to battle for every penny. Men and women of property would see a return to Victorian values or Victorian levels of poverty. Like a steampunk time machine, they whisk us back through the ages, through 1940s austerity, 1930s recession, with a brief stop in the 19th century before the final destination, feudalism. Robber baron tycoons are on the rise. Go forth and splatter them with custard pies. When you run into the East India Company, kids, remember what the narco-capitalists did. Be aware of what they do to gobby plebeians, like Captain Jack Sparrow in Pirates of the Caribbean. So what's it all about? Here's someone to tell us what it all means. All hail Britannia. The best things in life are free, but you can give them to the birds and bees. I want more. That's what I want. 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 Your love gives me a thrill, but your loving won't pay my bills. I want money. What I want, that's what I want. 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 Over to you, Bill.
I want. Give us the biggest big hand you got for the creator of this whole spectacle, Madame Meow herself, the lovely and talented Anna Chen.